boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your chain for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right, shout out to the fam. Welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fan. We in this thing. Shout out to the Who That Nation. Happy hump day to you. We got over the hump. We got a couple of days left before we get to the weekend. And ultimately, when we get to that point, man, we'll be able to see some Saints football on Sunday, man. And of course, man, shout out to the Madden simulation. Had the Saints in a very exciting game. If y'all guys did get the opportunity to check that out, yesterday was a pretty busy day, but the Madden simulation was in favor. The Madden gods were in favor of the Saints in a high scoring battle, beating the Houston Texans in Reliance Stadium. The computer has chosen correctly 5 times. Every time. Don't worry about the score, like I said, but it has, up to this point, accurately produced the outcome of each Saints game perfectly. I've always thrown my little caveat, my disclaimer there, so you guys can kind of make of that what you will. But 5 straight weeks, 5 correct picks, and this time week 6 is saying the Saints shall beat the Texans. So if something happened there, you know, we got a ghost in the machine or something going on. So just as long as it worked for us and not against us, I'm good with it. All right. So anyway, so with that being said, shout out to the fam. Appreciate each and every last one of y'all for chiming in. Please feel free to hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, smash the hell out of the subscribe button and feel free to share the show's links on your social media feed. It helps us out. We in the thing. Shout out to you. I'm your humble host, Big Q. And listen, we're going to talk some football, some Saints football on this hump day edition of the Saints Roundup. So we're going to go over some news notes. We're going to react to several interviews. Dennis Allen's teleconference usually drops every Wednesday. We're going to listen to what he had to say. Of course, Derek Carr and Kamara talk. We'll play pieces of their stuff as well, and we'll get into it. All right, so with that being said, fam, let's jump right off into it. Shout out to Niles Carpenter. That's one of our Saints contributor at thewhothatdaily.com. Feel free to lock that in your phone, whatever, and share the articles over there. They've been putting in some good work, man. Very consistent. Marching into week 6, the Saints Wednesday roundup. And we have a few things to talk about as for the Saints Wednesday. The first injury report of the week for this matchup has been released early on. And of course, tight end Juwan Johnson, safety Lonnie Johnson Jr., who's dealing with a hamstring issue. Juwan Johnson dealing with that calf is really messing with him. Adam Prentice has a knee issue. The fullback safety JT Gray hamstring, and tackle Landon Young did not practice on Wednesday. Things could change for Thursday, and we're hoping they do. Ryan Ramczyk, Jimmy Graham, defensive end Cam Jordan, wide receiver Chris Olave, and guard tackle James Hurst were all limited. And Ramczyk and Graham's limitation were not injury related. They just gave him some rest. And of course, on the brighter side, Derek Carr's right shoulder. Safety Marcus Mays returning from his suspension, so we get him back. And guard Andrews Pete as full from the concussion protocols. We're all full participants at Wednesday's practice. Now, as far as your competitor, the Texans go, the Texans have their own injury issues. Laramie Tunsil, knee issue. Cornerback Shaq Griffin is a calf. Wide receiver Nathan Tank Dale has a concussion. I don't know if he'll be able to clear that in time. Wide receiver Robert Woods has a rest and ribs issue. Defensive tackle Malik Collins has an abdomen, and also they missed practice. Now, linebacker Blake Cashman has a wrist issue. Tackle George Fant has a hip and shoulder issue. Linebacker Christian Harris is a concussion, and guard Shaq Mason has ankles. Were all limited in participation. Texans did have some positive news as wide receiver Noah Brown had a groin issue. Tackle Titus Howard had a hand. Guard Josh Jones had a hand. Linebacker Perriman, hand, wrist, and Travaris Thomas had a hand. Were all full participants in their practice. So it's going to be interesting watching those guys, man. And, of course, shout out to our rookie kicker, Blake Grupe, doing his thing. In the Saints news, Blake Grupe was recognized as the NFC Special Teams Player of the Week. Shout out to him for his outstanding performance in the 34 smacking of the Patriots. Grupe was responsible for 10 of the team's 34 points, hitting 2 long-distance field goals, 53 and 54, I want to say, and all of his extra point attempts. It was also a risk for Grupe to trade, for the Saints to trade Will Lutz. And, of course, Grupe has performed. I'm very proud of the young rookie, man. Really, I am. And like I said, we just got to keep, we can't really be too tough on our rookies, man. They are rookies and they're learning. So Grupe, the young kicker from Notre Dame, stepped up to the plate. He boasts an impressive almost 92% field goal accuracy rate this season. That's been nearly perfect on the extra points. So that'll be a big, that is very big and really helped us out in our special teams area. We had our punt return this year as well, which was I'm very excited about our special teams unit. And we just need to get some more out of them, man, and we'll be fine. But I'm really proud of our young punter and kicker. They're doing a fantastic job. But congratulations to young Blake Grupe, man, doing his thing. And listen, got another fantastic kicker that we know that's in Saints lore as one of the greatest kickers we ever had that came from the University of Notre Dame as well. So, hey, I don't know. We'll see as time tells. And also some more news to make note of to the family members. The Saints added 3 players to the practice squad in a concerted effort to refine the lineup. The Saints announced on Wednesday the decision to sign tight end J.P. Holtz, wide receiver John Trey Kirkland, and guard Tommy Kramer to the practice squad. Holtz, known for his versatility in different facets, etched a commendable NFL trajectory, 50 games, 10 of which he started. Holtz has marked his presence, has 91 yards and 11 crucial stops on coverage, more of a special teams player and blocking and doing things. But as such, the Saints bring him back to the practice squad. The return of wide receiver John Trey Kirkland, originally signed by the Saints early this year, comes back as, he's an LSU alum, bringing some of that wide receiver depth to the practice squad, as well as his ability to help you on special teams. And, of course, Tommy Kramer, who picked up some very good snaps for the Saints in prior recent games, has been re-signed to the squad as well as he plays the guard positions for the Black and Gold. So this is a pretty good as the Saints make a few moves, and we have a few things to talk about in terms of our Monday or Wednesday hump day roundup. Now, let's transition, family, to this interview. This is the teleconference, or the conference call, rather, for Dennis Allen. And let's see what he had to say about what happened with the Saints. And he's going to, of course, kind of peer into the Texans and talk about key points and talking points and things that they need to do about the Texans. So y'all put one in the chat if y'all can hit Dennis Allen. Here we go.
Yeah, well, look, I think the biggest thing he brings is just the knowledge of the game and his consistency and the way that he goes about his business every single day. He works extremely hard. He's highly intelligent. He's a guy that you can always count on, really to be in the right spot at the right time. And that's led to a lot of plays that he's made, in our league over a long career. So I just think his presence out there in terms of a calming influence to our football team and just knowing that he's going to be in the right spot, he's going to help other people get in the right spot too.
That's like a calming influence, like on the field itself too?
Yeah, because there's no panic in his play, and so he's able to kind of help everybody kind of get lined up, and he's going to be in the right spot, and he sees a lot of things, during the game that, where he can help on the sideline with some of the younger guys and help them see where there's some plays to potentially be made.
What was the biggest vision you had for him when you targeted him in free agency? Was it more the intangibles or the tangibles, or was it, as a football mind, you like how much variety you can do with him?
Yeah, look, I think it's a combination of things. All the intangibles are good, and yet if you're not a player that still has the ability to make plays, all the intangibles don't do us really a whole lot of good. And so the fact that, he had that leadership ability, he had that football knowledge, and yet was still, in my opinion, playing at a high level. And so that was what we were hoping that we were getting out of him. I think this year it's been even a bigger improvement in terms of what we're getting out of him, because I think he's a lot more comfortable with what we're doing defensively, as well as a lot more comfortable taking on that leadership role in the secondary.
Yeah, what's kind of been the
small sample size that you've seen from C.J. Stroud, but what are some of the things that you've seen that stand out about him? He doesn't seem to turn it over a whole lot, obviously.
No, I think he's playing at a very high level. I told, the team today that, I think the quarterback's playing at a high level, and I'm not talking about a high level for a rookie. I'm talking about a high level for an NFL quarterback. I think he's done a really good job of going through his progressions. I think he knows where to go with the football. He gets the ball out generally in rhythm and timing, does have the ability to improvise and make some plays on the move. I just think he's really operating their offense at a really high level.
Yeah, obviously it doesn't help when Juwan's injured, but what has been the challenge kind of this year with just getting the tight ends involved in the passing game?
Yeah, look, I mean, part of Juwan, not being available really the last couple of weeks, I think has been a challenge for us. I just think a lot of it has to do with how, teams end up playing us. And, we got a lot of weapons. And so we're going to continue to work to, get the ball into our playmakers' hands as best we can. And if that ends up being the tight ends, that's awesome. But if somebody else is making the plays, we got no challenges with that either.
And just what have you guys seen from Andrew Speed? Just, obviously getting a chance to play and just, since he's had the opportunity to get on the field a little bit.
Yeah, look, I think Andrews is a good player. I mean, the biggest thing for Andrews is just his ability to be available, and that's kind of been the big challenge with him. He missed a significant portion of the training camp. Last week he was out with a concussion. He practiced today, and we'll see where he's at as the week goes on. But I think he's a big part of what we want to be able to do, and I think he can help us.
Yeah, how big is it getting Marcus May back this week?
Yeah, look, I think that'll be a good addition for us. I do think the guys that have stepped in and played in his absence have done a good job, and yet, I think Marcus can be a difference maker type of player for us. So we're excited about having him back out there.
Yeah, guys like Alvin and Mike, obviously they came in as young players and kind of developed into this locker room. It seems like there might be them taking on a bigger leadership role from a vocal perspective in the locker room. Would you say that's accurate? And what have you seen from them in that regard?
Yeah, I'd say that's accurate. I mean, I think both of those guys over the last couple of years have taken on a bigger leadership role. Obviously, in Mike's situation with some of the injuries, it's hard to kind of be that guy when you're not out there playing. And yet I think both of those guys, understand what it takes to win in our league. And I think they can express that to, a lot of the other guys. We've got some young guys that haven't experienced that in our league. And quite frankly, there's some veteran guys that really haven't experienced that in our league. And so their ability to communicate to the guys exactly what it takes to play at a high level, both individually and collectively as a group, I think is a big part of what they can bring to our team.
Hey, DA, just out of curiosity, I think you guys average less play action attempts than most teams. Is that just is that a player preference? Is that a play calling preference? Why would you kind of say that is?
Yeah, look, I think each week is different. I think play action can be a big part of what you do offensively. I think it's a better part of what you do offensively when you're able to run the ball effectively. So I thought we ran the ball better this week, and hopefully we can continue to run the ball well, and I think that'll open up some things that we can do in the play-action passing game.
And just in terms of the offensive line, it was last week maybe just their best game as a 1 through 5 unit.
Yeah, I think overall, I think the last couple of weeks they've played significantly better, and so hopefully we're getting back closer to being healthy along the offensive line with all of our guys, and that group will continue to gel cohesively as a group.
What have you guys seen from James Hurst just throughout the season?
Yeah, James is been a guy that's a veteran guy that's moved around and played a lot of different positions, and so there's been a little bit of inconsistency, and yet I think a lot of that has to do with he's kind of moved around to a bunch of different spots. So again, he's a veteran player that provides a lot of flexibility for us, and I think he's a big part of our ability to be successful along the offensive line.
It's kind of a quirky schedule this year, at least in the first half. A lot of AFC opponents. Is it a challenge to try to prepare for 2 different quarterbacks in 2 different systems you haven't really seen in the span of 10 days?
Yeah, I don't know about the span of 10 days. I'm focused on what we're doing with the Houston Texans right now. They present a lot of challenges in terms of what they do offensively and how they're operating offensively. I think it's a really good scheme, and I think they're executing at a high level.
If I remember right, going into the Carolina game, you weren't terribly enthusiastic about discussing the notion that your defenses have been really good against rookie quarterbacks. Would you say that's accurate, and why don't you like that premise?
Yeah, because I don't think any of the previous performances have anything to do with the outcome of our next game and against our next opponent. So each and every one's a different challenge, and so we try to take those on individually instead of trying to collectively look at maybe what we've been able to do against rookie quarterbacks or young quarterbacks. This guy presents a lot of challenges for us. I think C.J. Stroud, again, like I said, I think he's operating at a really high level. I think they've got some weapons to get the ball to, and I think this is going to be a really tough game to go into their place and have to play them at home in Houston.
Is there anything in particular?
Let's pause right there for a second. Absolutely. The game-by-game approaches, I totally agree with that. We just, in terms of it, and we did a really good preview show that you guys will probably see later on this week. Shout out to Dugan, my friend Harley Dugan from The Lead out in Houston, who covers the Texans. He came on there, and it's available for our Patreon and our YouTube membership family to preview Houston Texans matchup, man. And a lot of good game was given on there about the Texans and the team and what's going on with them. And listen, they have a lot of really good young players on that squad. And DeMeco Ryans has not only the team bought into what he's doing, but he has the media bought into what he's doing. And the way, the way Harley was speaking about DeMeco Ryans was like, they really love their coach out there. And I remember saying to myself, damn, it's quite the difference between, that feeling that we have here. A lot of people want to see the Saints. A lot of the family members want to see the Saints win. And right now, to a degree, we did get a big win, and it's a lot of positive stuff to build on. But man, oh man, those 2 prior losses were a bit concerning. So hopefully that is behind us. And we just need the offense to get it going, man. The defense has arrived. The special teams is here. We just need the offense to keep going. And the key to it, and you don't have to micro dissect the Saints offense to figure out exactly what's going wrong. It's a lot of it is they have to get back to fundamentals. They have to run the ball. They did it the last game, and it helped the offense out tremendously. It got us out of the stinker. It got us out of the funk. We put the ball in the hand of AK-41 and Kendre Miller, and it helped take us partially to a win. The offense kind of got going. They did put up some touchdowns, which was positive to see. A multi-touchdown offensive performance by the Saints, along with everything the defense did, along with the special teams with the 250-plus yard field goals, the pick six by Tyrann Mathieu, and what the Saints were doing, the turnovers there. So the offense just needs to get it going and get out of the stinker. That's the bottom line. Keep running the ball and keep operating that way. Running game first. Offensive line has to get it together. And we are riding on our line, man. We're riding on our line to dominate and do what they got to do. Let's finish up with Dennis Allen.
About his combination of skill sets and the way he seems to be thinking or processing that makes him stand out relative to other rookies?
Yeah, look, I think, the one thing that you do see sometimes out of rookie quarterbacks is you see them not always processing the information as quickly as they need to and getting the ball to the right spots all the time, which presents some challenges for the offense. And that's not what I see out of this player. I see this player operating at a high level. He knows exactly where he wants to go with the ball. He's throwing the ball accurately, on time, and they've got good weapons to get the ball to. So, again, I just look at this as a really good football team that we're facing, and a team that's operating at a really high level offensively.
Does his mobility also play into? Has that helped him, in your opinion, yet? Or
yeah, look, I think that's one of the things that he's done a few times is be able to kind of extend the play a little bit and be able to find some explosive plays down the field. He did that a little bit in a 2-minute drive last week against Atlanta and created an explosive play down the field. So. I think his mobility is definitely a factor.
Dennis, I think this is the second time you guys have gone up against somebody right after they play Atlanta. Is Atlanta running anything at all similar to what y'all are running with Nielsen there? Are you guys able to see?
Yeah, I would say there's some similarities that you see at times, and yet there's a lot of differences in terms of what we do and how we play, and so. But yeah, I think, much like when we're studying Houston, we're going to go back and look at some of the things that we've seen, when we played San Francisco, because it's the same system of offense, and yet they're doing some different things. So, we try to study not only teams that we've played, and you pay attention to the coordinator, but yet you're also trying to look at teams that play similar style of defense to you and see exactly how they're trying to attack that type of defense.
Yeah, and of course, anytime I get an opportunity to kind of throw one at Atlanta, I'm going to do it. Ryan Nielsen, it's definitely some similarities. It's a lot of similarities going on between New Orleans and Atlanta. There's no doubt about it. There's a lot of similarities. They got our old guy at the helm, and Fontenot. He's very familiar to us. The similarities of our former defensive co-coordinator, he's there. Several of our players are there. So, there's definitely some familiarity and similarities going on in Atlanta. It's also the copying of our stadium. There's a lot of stuff going on there. A lot of familiarity going on there in Atlanta, man. That's why I call them New Orleans East. Funnily and lovingly, of course. We do realize that the Atlanta Falcons are drawing energy from the New Orleans Saints. Ain't no doubt about it. And that's that winning energy. And that old mantra that Count Blank is obviously buying into. If you can't beat them, join them. That's what it goes down to. That old adage. All right, so that's Dennis Allen. Let's move on to his quarterback, man, that he drafted and brought to the Saints, Mr. Carr. And we'll listen to what he has to say about what's going on with C.J. Stroud. Now, before we jump off into that, this is C.J. Stroud's numbers, man. We went over this during the show. He's simply, even though he's a rookie, he's not playing like a rookie. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he has a few flops here or there, but, man, he's really spot on. His numbers you can see through 5 games, 186 attempts versus 114 completions. He has a 61.3 percentage throwing the ball, has over 1,400 yards, 1,461 to be precise, average almost 8 yards per throw. And he has 7 touchdowns versus 0 interceptions. So he's doing a really good job of moving the ball. And his QB rate is 98.4. And in terms of him scrambling through 5 games, 15 scramble attempts for 53 yards, he averages 3.5 yards per scramble. No touchdowns, but it is a part of CJ Stroud's game to move around if he feels uncomfortable. But, the team, that's what we were saying. A lot of what's going on with the Texans, had an opportunity to go and look up some film on the Texans, and you'll hear some of this breakdown, some of this stuff when we start talking about, when you guys kind of look at the preview, the Texans and Saints preview stream later on. What's interesting is that the Texans running game is not there. And Dameon Pierce, who's a very good running back, had a stellar rookie year, has not, through the 5 games, have not stepped up to do at least half of what he done last year. He's struggling a bit to get going behind this line, and they've been having some issues with their offensive line, injury wise and stuff like that. He hasn't been able to get going. So a lot of the pressure is on CJ Stroud to get victories and move the offense. So if they get Pierce going along with CJ and all of the weapons, and they have a ton of young wide receivers that are very good, John Ameche, the kid Tank Dell, who has the concussion, we probably won't see him. Nico Collins, the big wide receiver, is finally coming to his own. Robert Woods. Some of these guys are banged up, so we don't know exactly if some of these guys will make it into the game, but they do have some solid weapons for CJ Stroud. And the defense is also, the signature of the team is the defense. That's DeMeco Ryans' sticking point, and they operate. And that's what I was saying about Great Gang, about what it is with what's the offensive coordinator, Slovic, who's a disciple of Gary Kubiak. So they're operating a version of Gary Kubiak's offense in Houston with DeMeco Ryans' defense, and that is a very scary thing once they get it together. So hopefully the Saints can get there and kind of impose their dominance and their will on this Texans team, man. So let's get into the next one, fam. Here's Derek Carr with his thoughts on the matchup.
Question about the Saints defense. I know that's not your anyway, but when you practice against them and when you play against them, like what makes them so special and difficult, in particular, to pass against?
Yeah, so a lot of veterans on that team, on that side of the ball. So they know how to make things all look the same. They know how to. So when you take the snap, if they can cause half a second of what was it, or oh no, it's this. If they can cause that half a second, or they can disguise something, or they can show this and play this, and they know where to stand to hide from people. They know, they know all the little things that they've learned for years and years and years of playing against good players, and so you see all of that coming into one group, and they all play well together. Like one heartbeat, all those, cliche terms, that is them, and they meet at the football all together. They run to the football together at practice. They chase the ball. They celebrate each other. It doesn't matter who makes the play. We make the play, right? And that whole mindset. And, windows that are usually like this with them are like this, and, you want to throw it at 23? Okay, I'll go throw it at 29. You want to throw it at 1? Like, you start looking around, like, all these guys can cover, and when you go try and run the ball, they can stop the run. So, I can go on and on about them, but, they just do everything. They do the little things right all the time. And they never, DeMario and the leaders and Cam and Tyron, they don't let anything slip or fall through the cracks. They will address it and do it right again. And that's something I've noticed just practicing against them.
Yeah, noticed, this year alone, I think 2 or 3 of the quarterbacks have had the lowest passer rating against them ever.
Yeah.
So it's obviously, they're playing at an elite level.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They make it really hard. And, we saw it like just in our practices, like it's back and forth. We're making plays and they have a good day, and then we have a good day. That's showing you the team and all those kind of things. Now the message is consistency, right? For all of us. It's good. We did it. They did some good things in the first 5 weeks. We've slowly started to get better, and now how can we just all keep consistently pushing each other? Like you guys, Cam Note was talking about it. We go good on good sometime, on Fridays, and we were just pushing that envelope of what we can be consistently. And I think that's the word for us right now. Can we consistently keep doing it?
How important or comforting is it to have a balanced run game with the offense that you did Sunday?
Well, it helps. It helps the offensive line. It helps me for sure in the play action game. It helps the play caller, staying on schedule or on early downs. 3rd and 7 in this league is a lot different than 3rd and 2. That is a whole different world when you turn the tape on and watch what teams are doing. And so everything changes when you can be efficient that way. So, hopefully we can continue to do that because I think it'll help everything continue to be more consistent.
Derek, having played some high school ball at Sugar Land, is this kind of special for you when you go back to?
Yeah, it's like going back home. I was talking to Zach about that. I've gone back to LA, and sure, a lot of my family can come to those games, but I really grew up in Houston. So when people make fun of me for saying y'all and having a Southern accent, because I just figured that out when I moved to New Orleans, it's not the case. I after 5th grade moved to Houston. It was there for junior high school. Then after my junior year, before my senior year, I went back to California. So, and my mom's whole side of the family, my grandma, my grandpa, aunts, uncles, cousins, everybody's from Texas. And so that's just the culture that I grew up in. And so for me, going back there was like a homecoming. I already had high school friends, text me, can't wait to see you, all those things. Because the only time I really get to go back is when we play there. And so this will be only like 2nd or 3rd time I've been back since I moved after my junior year.
Derek, how impressive is it when you're looking at the other end of C.J. Stroud, and I guess the record now is 186 without an interception, for a rookie quarterback to do that? And it's not like it's like checkdowns because he's 3rd in the league in passing.
Yeah.
How impressive is that for a rookie being?
Yeah, me and my brother kind of talked about CJ before the season started, before the draft and all that. Like we were talking about quarterbacks, we love this guy. The way he carries himself, the accuracy he throws with, all those things. And so I think the world of him. I think he's going to be a great player for a long time, and hopefully he continues his success, except this week. Obviously we want to win the game, but I'm a fan of his. And love watching him and growing. And the more film that gets out there on him, the more defense will try and figure out and know how to stop him. The more he just keeps pressing into his fundamentals and his technique and the scheme and all those kind of things, and keep that arrow going up for him. And so I wish the best for him, and I hope he continues to do that, except this week.
Amen. And that's the thing about CJ Stroud, man. You watch him on field, he's composed. He's composed in the pocket. And a lot of people saying the Panthers should have took him over. Nah, everything worked out the way they do. It's all about environment. CJ Stroud's numbers as a rookie quarterback in that system for his first time walking into the NFL, we all know it's about environment. It's like that old saying they say about to the real estate agents. It's all about location, 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 location. And I think a lot of that is, the pressure was that the same amount of pressure on him versus the other kid from Carolina. Probably not the same, because that other kid was the 1st round overall pick, who was tasked as being a savior. And like I said, some of that don't work. It didn't even work for Peyton Manning. He was like 1 in 15 or whatever the hell it was when he first stepped in the building. So no one's immune from the school. But his numbers, CJ Stroud's numbers, and his performance this year is better than a 10-year quarterback that's been in the NFL, that's seen a multitude of different systems and schemes, has a timing, 10 years worth of football, professional football, timing, all of that kind of stuff. The kid is just natural. So we going up against these guys, pressure is always important, to get pressure on these guys, to get them on the ground, to shake them up, to rattle them. Right now, they like I said, the Texans have problems running the football. We got to keep that. They kind of, we got to keep them one-dimensionalized. And then, of course, we got to score when we get the opportunity. So really it's down to Derek Carr to outdo the rookie. He has to outdo the rookie quarterback. He's got to, and see, the thing is, and we got some shirts, some new merch that's about to drop coming up soon, family. Probably be right before the matchup against, perhaps the matchup against the Texans, or perhaps right after that. We got some new merch that's about to drop. Been a while since we did some merch, but we got some new merch that's y'all gonna really like. But the reality is, like, with everything the Saints have, Michael Thomas is there, Chris Olave's there, Rashid Shaheed's there, Taysom Hill is there, Jawan's not there, but you got Jimmy, you got Foster, you got all these fantastic players, and he has to, in the 5th, going into the 6th week, we need to see more of what we've seen, or even much rounded, or, building upon that positive performance last week. I don't expect the Saints defense to get a pick 6 every game. It would be nice, Like, we were gifted with certain things. Our special teams gave us a touchdown. Our defense gave us a pick six, in weeks behind each other. And we were blessed and fortunate to get extra scores from other units. But this offense has to get going, man. It's time. And like I've said before, and I'm not backing off my commentary about Derek Carr not being ready to lead the Saints offense, meaning he's the guy the reason why they win games. Like, when they were giving it to him to throw the ball or move the ball, he struggled. He struggled. His decision making, staring down the field too long to try to get the deep ball because he's a gunslinger. Sometimes if you watch and study the film, and I got the film, we did the film breakdown for the Saints-Pats game. And you can see even in that game, he's taking, it's like I'm counting in my head, and he's staring down, and then he ultimately checks it down. But at times he checks it down later than when he's supposed to. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be like a fluid rhythm. He's kind of overthinking a little too much. He performed better this game. And I think that's a large part is that he's not the reason why exclusively the reason why the Saints are winning these games. They relied on the running attack. That's the big sticking point. They put the ball in Alvin Kamara's hands, and he was able to make things happen. Him and Kendre Miller running off to the right side, doing things to kind of keep the offense on schedule, to keep a movement. And then he was able to operate behind that. That is the goal. I've been saying that. You need to run the ball. And I thought that's what they were going to do coming into the season. I knew Alvin Kamara wasn't there, but we knew he wasn't going to be there for some time. So when we got Jamal Williams and Kendre Miller, we had the issues dealing with that. And we had Tony Jones Jr. had his 2 touchdown performance. Taysom Hill was still lurking about. So the running game had to get going. The offensive line was struggled, but we have to run the ball. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it until Derek Carr gets in a rhythm with the Saints offense and know exactly what he's doing. Because I'm just going to be honest with you, that when you look at the film, he's not awful. He's not bad. It's just things tend to be slow at times. Like even with some of the check downs he was doing in the game was a little behind time. Like, you should have checked that down a little sooner than that, because perhaps he could have been able to get to a point where he can make a move or do something. It's not as fluid as you would like to see a 10-year veteran in an offense that he has some a knowledge of. So, it'll be the veteran, the 10-year veteran quarterback needing to outdo the rookie. We have the defense to get after him. Our special teams will be whole again. Marcus May returns, and I know he'll have a little rust on him, but we'll have all our guys back there in the starting secondary, in our secondary. Our defense is playing really good. Our special teams have been really awesome as well. Our offense has to get up off the snide, and they have to make plays. They have to score. And this is a thought process that I had that I want to share with the Who Dat Nation. 21 points a game is not too much to ask for the Saints. Can we at least get 3 touchdowns a game? I know it's the NFL. It's hard to score in the NFL. It ain't hard to cash the check, though. I want 3 touchdowns a game from the Saints offense. I don't think that's too much to ask for to get the Saints offense 3 touchdowns a game. Now, I'm not talking about field goals. I'm talking about touchdowns. If they have at least anywhere between 10 drives a game, or, probably more than that, north of 10 drives a game, at least 3 of the 10 drives should be translated into touchdowns. We should have at least 3 offensive touchdowns a game with Kamara, Thomas, Rashid, and everybody else there. There is absolutely no reason why we can't do that. So this is up to the Saints to get this together based on the running attack. But we should be able to score 3 touchdowns a game with all of the offensive firepower we have. And as soon as these people get on code, as soon as these people get some timing about them and know exactly what they're doing, because you still see them kind of like, even when it happened in the second half, they got into a rhythm and then it kind of went away. Then they struggled to do anything. They went out and then they came back, and then a big play ignited them again. You see what I'm saying? That's not a timed offense. Like, you will watch some of the top 5 teams in the NFL. You can see how their offense flows. Our offense, gets sparked on big plays, and then they'll die. And then it's like a car. It's like, and I hate to use the car pun, but it fits here because the quarterback's named Carr, and he's the one that's sitting in the damn driver's seat that's driving the drive to get the Saints, that's moving the Saints offense up the field. The car stalls and needs to jump. He needs somebody to come and put the cables on the battery and jump the car so they can, that sparks, and the big play happens that sparks the offense for a series or two, and then the off flubs down again. It needs to be jumped again. It's not a fluid offense, which kind of, what offense looks like when they're gelling and they're flowing. You know what I'm saying? When they're gelling and flowing. This offense hits big plays here or there. They'll spark it. They'll look good, and then they'll lose the magic. And then for several drives, they'll be just 3 and out, or or whatever. And then next thing or a pre-snap penalty hurt, or they'll allow a snap or a sack rather to happen to the quarterback. You have to end up punting it or what have you. You see what I'm saying? It's not fluid. It's like a big play would spark the offense to get down the field. It's not something fluid, like they know exactly what they're doing. You see what I'm saying? So there's still a lot of stuff going on with the Saints offense, but it's positive. We just need to make sure we run the ball and kind of take the pressure off of Carr. Cause that's just how I see it based on what I'm looking at. I just don't see him right now at this juncture of time being a guy that's going to lead you like he knows what he's doing. Like, I got this. I don't see none of that. I see a guy that's overthinking it at times. I see a guy who's still banged up a bit because his passes are not on the receiver like they're supposed to. Even his best throws, which is the deep ball throw, he's tend to overthrowing guys, stuff like that. And I just don't see the confidence in the thing to say, yeah, he got it. I know what that looks like, and he don't have that. That's why I'm saying we got to trust in that rushing attack and him on the back of the rushing attack like we did in the Patriots game. I think that's the best outcome we can hope for to get the victory. So hopefully we get another round of 30 plus rushing attempts. If it gets to 41 like it was in the Pats game, that would be absolutely terrific, because that means we're controlling the clock. We're keeping our defense fresh, which will pay dividends down the line, especially later on in the game. And we just need to do what we got to do. And, we just got to pound this team running up the middle. Because listen, the Texans are soft up the middle with Malik and Sheldon Rankins. They could be ran on. Anyway, let's finish up with this guy. Here we go.
When you're looking at that as and you were a rookie, way long ago, but within 10 years, I mean, trust me, I'm older. So I'm right there with but I mean, trying to make that adjustment, to the pro game and the fact that he hasn't, done that and still is for. I mean, that's got to be hard to do as a rookie, right?
Yeah, absolutely. What he's done is very impressive. Obviously, you said he broke the record. Then it means it's never been done, And so he's doing things that have never been done, and that is awesome. And any NFL player that does that, I'm a fan of and root for him and wish the best for him, because as good as the good times are, hard times happen too. And so just staying positive, staying in your process no matter what, as a quarterback especially. Enjoy those times. If you have a tough day, just keep going. Just keep working and don't worry about anything. So again, I wish him the best. Won't give him too many secrets yet, because I am the old guy. Way long ago as a rookie, but for him to do what he's done is really cool.
Anything to jump out about Texas defense, what they do on that side of the ball?
Very physical. They fly around the football. All 11 hats. You see a ball completed. You see the D-line sprint to go they want to make the tackle. You see the linebackers chasing sideline to sideline. The DBs are flying around everywhere. You can obviously tell it's coached. You can tell that they have the right guys in that building that want to do things the right way. And you can 100% tell they believe in their head coach. You can tell when as soon as you turn the tape on, you see the energy from their sideline. You see the energy that they bring, as a defense. And it's fun to watch. If you're a fan of football, you love watching stuff like that.
I was going to ask.
That's a big thing to talk about too when you talk about Derek Carr and playing against that Texas defense, because he ain't lying. Henry T, the former linebacker from the Alabama Crimson Tide, he's there making plays. Blake Cashman is there. They have Denzel Perriman. We talk about strength of the Texans defense is the linebackers. Those guys fly around the field and they make plays. That is the strength of their team is the defense. D'Amico Ryans obviously was an all-world linebacker for the Texans. But in his playing days, he's right. They really love that guy, D'Amico Ryans. And I was like going in my head, when was the last time we really loved the coach like the Texan people loved D'Amico Ryans? I would guess we said to a degree it was Sean Payton before his head got the big head, when he was still humble Sean Payton before all the accolades and stuff that happened, and he just got his head pumped up and had all that stuff going on. And yet I had to be challenging him and talking about him, how he talking to people out there, the reporters, and how he was talking to people that were questioning him. And when he would go to the supermarket, I ain't like all that, man. And, and just people just silly and stupid. They'll sit up there and protect them and say, well, what are you doing? Ask him a question. People can ask the damn man the question. Who the hell is he? The president? The Pope? He the football coach. He a football coach that work for you. You the one pay for the tickets. There is no scenario in this world where a football coach should talk to somebody like that and they being respectful to you about a dumbass call that you made in the football game that ultimately cost the game for you. Indeed. No, I'm not. You off code and I'm going to check you for that. And that's what I did. And a lot of people, they just fans in their heads. They just sit there and whatever you do is good enough. You can't rationalize with people because they're not even thinking anyway. So you just ignore them. But the issue is, like we talk about the Texans defense, Carr is going to have to perform, man, because they're not going to play. That defense is going to come after him. And he can't stand back there and hold on to the ball and do all this other stuff that I've seen him do. Even when he took the sacks in the game against the New England Patriots, when he had all that time in the world. The offensive line for the Saints are not going to allow you to stand back there for all that time. You're going to either have to do one or two things. You're going to have to go through the progressions and go to the check down. You're going to have to either scramble out of there or you're going to have to throw the ball away. Taking sacks is not an option, bro. Taking sacks is not an option. You have to perform. He's going to have to perform better in this matchup against the Texans. This ain't the Patriots. And this will definitely be a lot harder matchup because these people are even though they're not a playoff team, but I ain't going to say, I don't want to sound and disrespect the Houston Texans because anybody could be beaten in the NFL if you don't bring your A game. But the Saints, this is one of those games where the Saints, from a heart standpoint, should be able to carry on you would hope they can carry on some of that stuff from what you've seen them doing, how well they were run blocking in the Boston game or the Patriots game, and able to move guys out of the way and open up lanes from the running attack. I can only hope that they can keep that going into the weeks and build on that. Really, I really do hope that they do that. I really hope that they do that. The play calling was much better. Let's keep that going. Whatever you were doing, just keep on doing it and improve upon it. That's what we need. But Carr especially. Derek Carr cannot stand back there, man, because these guys will get after you. They got guys that are very fast, and they will get after you. And he can't stand back there looking nervous and got them big-ass eyes bucking open like a car coming right at him, or he a deer caught in the headlights of a car. He can't have that. He has to be able to, all these car puns, he has to be able to get rid of that ball and outplay his rookie counterpart. That's what I want to see, man. A few more minutes and then we'll move on to Alvin Kamara.
Before you started asking about CJ Stroud, most rookies who do get rattled, are the things you were telling Jeff about the Saints' disguise and hard to read defense, is that particularly hard on rookies and inexperienced quarterbacks?
Yeah. I mean, they're going to make it hard on a rookie or a veteran. They're going to make it tough no matter what. These guys are unbelievable. I don't know who he's played. I don't know, all the things that he's been doing and is taught to do and all that. But all I know is he's been super successful, and CJ's doing a great job, and I'm happy for him. But to answer the second part of that, our defense makes it tough on anybody, a rookie or not a rookie. They make it hard on you, and hopefully they can do that this week for us.
How much does it help psychologically to score in the red zone the way you guys did on Sunday? I guess do it various ways with the short pass, the run, and the pass to that zone. Yeah.
It just shows the versatility that we can do it with, and like I've been saying, our message is can we do it consistently? And let's just keep holding ourselves to that standard. Let's just keep pushing ourselves to do that extra work, that film study. When you're tired at night, man, open up that book, stay in it, because as soon as we blink, we're going to be at the end of the season. So we want to make sure that, we're where we want to be and we got to stay consistent in our work and our process to do that.
Key to it all is consistency, and notice that Derek Carr is saying the correct terms. We have the thumbnail on the channel saying be consistent. That's taken and inspired from this moment of the press conference in which he's talking about being consistent, and they have an idea of what they've seen happen in the matchup against the Patriots of what they want to continue to build on. Let that be the foundation on which a functional consistent offense is built on. So if Carr, and it all starts with him to a degree because he's at the most supreme seat in the Saints offense, so to speak, and he has to be able to make sure his game speeds up as well. So it's like I said, we're and he's right when you talk about before long the season's going to be open. We're a few days from the week 6 matchup against the Houston Texans. It is all 6 weeks have already passed, and we're 6 weeks into this season. So indeed, 6 games. And ultimately, we finally got the offensive explosion, the complete team effort we got against New England. And I don't see why, if you think about it, barring injury, why we can't keep being better. So it's not like a thing. We've seen funk and stank and trifling, offense the last several games prior to the New England game. So I don't see in my mind why they can't. You see what I'm saying? Why they can't get better. It's not like they don't want to get better or they're not inspired to. After a big win like that, usually it's a rush of confidence. Like we did it. We dominated the team. We beat Bill Belichick. His team stinks, but we did what we were supposed to do. We dominated. We stopped a 2-game slide to 9 playoff teams. It's a psychological advantage. Like, are we really as good as we are with all these people here? How are we losing to a 9 playoff Tampa Bay team or a 9 playoff Green Bay team? Why are we losing to these teams? What are we doing? Where's the heart? If anything, you say, like, where's the heart? Where's our courage at? Where is our heart at? Where is our intelligence at? Why would we allow that to happen? We need to step up and let's set some type of parameters where that never happens again. Where we see something bad about to happen, we just shut it the hell down and we grab each other attention and say, listen, bro, we got to get it going. I don't see why they can't improve. I'm just going to be honest with you. 6 weeks in, we should be a lot better than this. So I'm really hoping, and I really do think Carr eventually does get it. Maybe week 6 is it. But at least, the very least is they found the key that we've been saying this whole time is when the team was struggling. I was like, bro, run the ball, run the damn ball, take it out of Carr's hand. You can see he's not totally comfortable in the Saints offense because he's standing back there taking too long. Even when he takes sacks or he's studying on play, he's overthinking things. Like, he's kind of struggling, throwing. Every time you can see him cycle through, the first thing he do is he look at see if he can get that sneak you with that deep throw, and kind of begrudgingly checks it down. He's a gunslinger, so that's his narrative. It's always to look beyond, try to see if he can hit you with that deep shot. So I mean, I get that, but at the same time, you got to be patient, and you also, and this 10 years, this is a 10-year quarterback here, not just a backup guy. That's 10 years worth of a lot of starting games for Derek Carr. So I do think, and I'm gonna say this, I do think eventually he gets it together. I do think the Saints have the proper scheme now in terms of them having the mindset to run the ball. Why can't they? If our offensive line, the very least that they can do, if they can't protect the quarterback or if they struggle protecting the quarterback, the least they can do is at least run the ball. At least run the ball and at least set that up so we can get the play action going, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, the Texans are not going to play with you. They're going to get after you, and they're going to make some stuff pop on you quick. Pause. So anyway, let's move on to the next one. This is Alvin Kamara, about a little less than 6 minutes, and he's talking about Kendre Miller, who's been a really good compliment with him in that matchup. Seeing AK-41 and Kendre Miller together in the Patriots matchup was really cool. Seeing AK hit the right side of the line and Kendre Miller running hard and, even catching the ball out the backfield, doing some phenomenal things. A lot of positive stuff we've seen from Kendre Miller in this matchup. Here's AK to kind of expound on that.
How did they show up at practice today?
Oh, I mean, shoot, like they do every week. I mean, everybody's coming in with a working mentality. I mean, the goal is to go 1-0 this week. And, I mean, we started off today well. I think everybody it's just a sense of urgency, obviously. We want to win. Like I said, like everybody, I think, feels. I mean, we don't like losing around here. So just getting on track and being able to do everything we can to put ourselves in a position to win. I think that's kind of what the feel is, and that's what the expectation and standard is.
Yeah, Derek Carr said that consistency was the main message this week. How do you guys achieve that, especially in the run game?
Yeah, I mean, call the runs, right? So, I mean, the O line they had a great game last week, and I think I just said it. They kind of get lost in the shuffle of when the high fives and the kudos go out, they kind of get lost. But C's and Ram and Eric and those guys, and Pete, James, even Trevor, he been struggling, but he had a good showing last week. They did a great job. They protected well, gave Derek time to throw the ball, and then they gave me some holes and gave Kendra some holes to run through. So I think just being able to kind of stack and add on to what that performance was and go into this next week and kind of do the same thing. I feel like, and we talk about it all the time, when we can run the ball when we want to and how we want to, the game kind of it gets easy.
What have you seen from Hill?
Indeed, man. Put the ball in AK-41's hand, man. Good things happen when you hand Alvin Kamara the football. Give it to him, let him make things happen. And like we said, the offensive line was big in the win over the Patriots. We need to see more of that. I agree wholeheartedly with Alvin Kamara. I'm proud of the offensive line when they have performances like that, because often this year I was talking about how the line was so discombobulated. Like they never played. The first couple of games, it was struggle wins. Then what happened the last two after that, and then of course we had a epiphany game, I guess, or a game where the Saints were able to put it all together and just blank the team, which is positive. And that's what kind of stuff you want to see. But, he talked about Penning struggling, and that's to be expected because really Penning didn't play that much last year. I mean, so he's basically like a rookie out there trying to learn. And this is baptism by fire for Trevor Penning. He's a first-round draft pick offensive lineman. He has to get it together. And of course, like we said, I don't agree with him being left tackle. I thought that should have been Ramchek's job to cover the blind side of the quarterback, because that's probably a very dangerous position to have a young offensive lineman. But what the hell do I know, right? But at the end of the day, they're not going to change it unless something really crappy happens in terms of him. I hear them talking about cycling Hurst to that side or whatnot. But in the end, man, Trevor Penning, he can't escape the school. He has to go through this one way or the other. And I have faith in the young guy, like most of our young guys. You talk about our young kicker, our young punter, you got to give him time. Isaiah Foskey, the snowman, you got to give him time. These young players, they need time to kind of get it together. We gave trifling people like the Davenport time. We got all these other guys out here. We gave them time. And before we figure out what they were, you got to give the young guys time to figure it out, man. So in the end, I really do think the Saints have the right key to make things poppin'. And Alvin Kamara, it starts with him.
He got a kind of slow start because he was injured, but how is he adding to what you guys are able to do?
Man, he's learning. He's figuring it out. It takes some time to kind of get your feet up under you and understand why and when and where. But he's figuring that out, and he's putting the pieces together. I mean, he has the ability, but it's like I said, you gotta put the pieces together of why, when, and where. I think I made it look easier than it was for me. But my rookie year, it took me to probably like game 14 to really figure out why and where, what I'm saying, and when. Other than that, it was Ted Ginn and B. Cole and Drew pushing me which way to go, and Mark telling me what to do, and so I think Kendra's figuring it out, and then I'm an open book. Whenever he asks questions, I no worry, I'm gonna tell him what he got. So he's figuring it out. I'm excited to see him get some more opportunity.
How much pride do you take in the blitz pickup part of the game?
I mean, shoot, that's a part of the job description, right? So, I mean, I think everybody was kind of like, oh, it was a great game with protection, but, I just go out there, lace them up, pick it up, and go to the next play. I take pride. I do take pride in it because when we're able to do that, O-line, and then obviously in our room, the running backs, then they give Derek time to get the ball downfield. So it's a part of the job. It's a big puzzle, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just playing my piece.
I know it was such a big swing 2 weeks ago. It was like this offense, it's struggling. Everything like the world sky's falling, and then you follow up with last.
Sky ain't never falling.
And this you follow up next week, and then the offense it feels like things. Would you say it's kind of it's somewhere maybe in the middle where it's not everything's not terrible at the same time? It's like there's a lot of good things that you guys can could build on?
Yeah, well, I think I would say the latter of what you said. I think it's a lot that we can build off from that game. Everybody looks at the score. Oh, it was a shutout. Offense did well. It's so much that we left out there, right? I mean, I think Derek felt like he left some stuff out there. I already talked about it kind of post game, but we got so much that we can do better. I mean, there's still preset penalties. There's still some things that, some busts in the run game, some busts in the pass game. It's like some of those things, if we clean them up, then we talking about like big wins. And playing against better teams, you can't make those mistakes and still expect to win. So I think it's not just the message this year, it's every year, every season. It's like the details matter, you know what I'm saying? So just focusing on the details and trying to clean up some of those things to put ourselves in better position to win.
I mean, you want to run it, the line wants to run it. So what's the feel when you guys get in that position where everybody knows you're going to run it and you're still able to run it?
Yeah, you still got to stop it. I mean, it's just like anything. I think once we kind of get our feet rolling.
All right, fam. So anyway, I'm gonna see if it'll get going there, kind of stuff. But the reality is, when we get an opportunity to see the running attack going, JD asks a pretty decent question. But
in our cleats in the ground and get the O line pushing and kind of get them feeling good and feeling it. I mean, it's hard to stop our run game. Pete just got to call it, so I'm gonna put it on Pete. I got to challenge Pete in the media. He knows he knows he's my guy, but I think like on the sideline, I go down to the O line and check on them, and they're like, man, we can run the ball, and I just go run over to Pete like, man, hey, the O line said we need to run the ball. But I think just calling it and being confident when we call them run looks and knowing that we can go get 4 or 5 yards, 6 yards, and once we kind of keep hitting those and being patient, the big ones come. So
that's very interesting. Thank you for saying that, Alvin, because that's really interesting to call on the thought process on Pete Carmichael. To think about it, his thought process is to pass the ball or throw the ball, and he is Sean Payton's acolyte. So I'm like, we used to have to kind of fuss at Sean Payton and run the ball. Like you're throwing it too much. You're overcomplicating it. Just it's simple. We got the horses. Let's just run the ball. And that's really interesting, even though Alvin's kind of hit him with a little sarcasm there because he likes Pete Carmichael, but he's kind of pushing him to run the ball more. 41 carries in the Patriots game. Hopefully, that's another thing. The players know what they can do. I'm hoping that the decision makers in the offense, and I'm speaking exclusively to them because they're the reason why we're 3-2 as opposed to 4-1 or 5-0. It's what's going on in the offense. The offense, if it was scoring 2-3 touchdowns a game over the last several weeks outside of the Patriots game, it's a good chance that you could be sitting up here 4-1 or 5-0 for real. So whatever's going on, it's the funk that's happening in the offensive side of the ball. And if some of the decision makers can take account of what happened in this game and really take from the good and say, hey, man, we ran the ball 41 times for 130 plus yards. Alvin got going in the matchup. He had a phenomenal game. Matter of fact, Dennis Allen gave him the game ball at the end of the game. That's how important he was to the success of that win. From an offensive standpoint, they scored multiple touchdowns as opposed to 1 touchdown in 2 games like they did in the prior weeks when they got up off the snide. So hopefully that sticks in the decision maker's head about what they need to do in terms of running the ball, because like I've said before, and they might feel differently because they have all this high praise for Derek Carr. They love Derek Carr, and Derek Carr is a cool dude. But listen, I hear how you feel, and moving all of the emotion out of it, to be honest with you, and just strictly look at the film. I can see a guy that's not ready to lead you right now. That's what I'm gonna just be honest with you. No, it's not a disparaging thought to him or him. I'm just telling you what it is. I see a man. If you go and look at the quarterback, the tape at the quarterback, over the last the amalgamation of the last 5 games, I see a guy that's not ready to lead an NFL team strictly like they put the offense on his shoulders and let me go get the dub for you. No, he's not there yet. And say people tell me, Q, he got to be there. He's $150 million richer. I hear you on that. But still in all, I expected the curve to be a lot slower, a lot sharper, and not as long as what we're seeing now. I mean, I was expecting that with all of the help he was getting, all of the extra tutors he was getting all this extra game from Pete Carmichael and Ronald Curry, and then Chucky came over here a couple of times and tried to sprinkle some game and try to get them together. I wasn't expecting that curve to be as long as it is, but that's why we play the games. That's why we here. That's why we do whatever we do. So based on what I'm looking at, this guy's not ready to lead us to no victories. He'll operate better from behind the running attack. He'll do that until he learns enough. And how long would that take? I don't think it'll take long if we can adopt that philosophy to be a run first team, because this is the part of it about knowing who you are. The Saints was operating with the wrong identity for much of those early games. That's why everything was disjointed, and we had struggle wins and collapsing losses. That we was up by 17, which means nothing if you can't complete the game. If you can't complete the game, that 17 point lead don't mean a hill of beans. You went up 17 and you was down, you went down 18, just like that in 11 minutes. So what I'm saying is they suffer from an identity crisis with this team. Like from an offensive standpoint, what are we, a passing or are we a running team? We're a balanced team. No, you're not, because you don't do either one of those things equally well at that period of time. So you have to kind of reset. We have to become a running team again. That has to be our identity, because that's what works until Carr picks up on his game. No point.
How much better do you think the run game can be to get consistent up front? There aren't like long blocks and stuff like that.
Oh, I think it can get a lot better. I think just building off this past week is going to be important. Just knowing that we got the guys up front to get the blocks, and then on the perimeter, those guys just taking pride in going and blocking downfield, which they do. But just everybody being accountable and doing their jobs and throwing those blocks, and just having the mentality that this one run could be the run. You know what I'm saying? This one run could be the 60-yarder, the 70-yarder. If you approach because that's how I'm thinking about it. And the O-line is thinking about it like that too. If everybody kind of has that same mindset, then it's gonna be dangerous.
Alvin Kamara said, and I love this press conference, by the way, he said in this one, he mentioned toward the end just now, he said about us being dangerous. Also, prior to several questions, he was talking about how the Saints left points on the field. He said, I felt like we lost the points. Yes, indeed, you did. Like he had you can think about the touchdown that Derek Carr threw. If he'd have threw the ball a little bit, perhaps a little inward, where he could have led Chris Olave. You remember that touchdown catch that Olave made when he got 1 foot in and the other one? If he had threw that straight ahead, like led him straight on the straight line and allow Olave to get up under it, that was a touchdown. Easy touchdown. But that's all I was saying about Derek Carr. But that a part of his accuracy issues is tied to the fact that he has some issues with that shoulder. Like I said, these are still human beings. They pumping them up with that dope. They shooting them up with that painkiller. So his arm he trying to figure out where the middle area. Like, okay, if you see him, they hit him with that shot before you put him out on that field before the game started. And you see him throwing the ball hard, especially when he came back from that Green Bay game the next week against Tampa Bay. They seen the prior to the game starting, him throwing the ball as hard as he could throw the ball, trying to work that out, because you can't tell me if you get a ACL, AC sprain on your shoulder and your arm in a sling, that a few days after the match, after the game, you had to go to the hospital. You hit that ground so hard, they had to see if you had other internal injuries and your arm in a sling. And then a couple of days later, you in an NFL game throwing again, and then you taking sacks, because he did take sacks and go down on the ground. That's not going to have an effect on a person that's already hurt. So I understand that, like that painkiller, man, that takes take a little bit of his accuracy away, and he's healed. I don't know how fast he's healing versus him playing, because when we looked at the medical journals, because that's what I do. These people, a lot of these cats in the sports game, they want performance. Hey man, listen, if your arm ain't torn off or it ain't broken in half, man, you better get on out there and play. That's the mentality. That's the gladiator kind of mentality that is perpetuated to people that's making that kind of money. So if you got that's why you see guys with busted hands, got it clubbed up like a club on their hand. They still out there playing. You got guys You know, and people out here that would not go to work under them type of circumstances. They wouldn't allow you to work with a busted hand, but they do it because of the pressure of the money that they get, and that they got to step up and play. You know, it's a performance thing. So, you know, what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, is that has to be impacting his accuracy to a degree, because I seen how his passes look at times, and I'm like, yeah, this is, you know, we'll see how it all looks. That's why I said, listen, run the damn ball. Alvin Kamara is like hinting in this interview about, the offensive line just, you know, blocking and talking about it. He's a running back. The running back wants to get the ball. I want to give Alvin Kamara the ball. I want to give Kendre Miller the ball. I want to give Taysom Hill the ball. Let's give these guys the ball, take pressure off of Carr. We seeing Taysom running in, like in the Patriots game, in and out of the game, more in the game, going out there and making things happen in his package. But we need, but also Taysom, please throw the ball a little bit more, fam. Can you throw the ball, sir? Because a couple of them plays that he was running, man, I know you want to run the ball. You like running over defensive backs, and we all do. We love that. But at the end of the day, could you please throw a couple of passes every now and then, just to keep your the plays or your RPO, not really a run pass, because you don't throw the ball enough. It's like a it's like a RO. It's like a RO, because that's all he do is run. Ain't no pass in it. What you mean RPO? What you talking about? There's no P in it, man. It's all runs. It's not balanced. So could we get a pass or two out of it just to keep honest? And I promise you, you going out there and you the quarterback at times, I guarantee you them people going up to the line and you seeing a lot of one-on-one on the outside. I promise you that. I promise you seeing a one-on-one. When you step up in there, they know you're going to run the ball. If you could just take advantage of that, sir, please, that'll be wonderful. But outside of that, yes, the running attack has to improve, man, in terms of just giving Alvin Kamara the ball. That is our identity, and that's what we need to stick to. We need to stick to running the ball. That is our identity, to go back to be a ground and pound team that works to play action and then can pop you with a deep shot. When you creep on up to try to stop that rushing attack, we hit you with a deep pass to Rashid Shaheed, to Chris Olave downfield, or whoever else we won't throw the damn ball to down the field. So, man, it's just a wonderful thing, man, once we get going. But I believe Alvin Kamara. I think eventually Derek Carr does. But until he does get it going, let's use one of our best players. Put the ball in Alvin Kamara's hand. He's a top 5 running back. He's always ready to play football, regardless or not. He's incredibly difficult to stop in space. He runs with power and elusiveness. You just have to block for him and get him to the second level. Let's create plays for him to get there. And then sometimes let's mix it up. Let's decoy him too. Let's decoy him and go to someone else, Rashid Shaheed, to the opposite side. Let's kind of take advantage of the fact when Alvin Kamara is out there, they'll have their eyes on him to stop him. And let's make something pop for somebody else somewhere. Where are those plays? Like we've seen the great play with Pete Carmichael call when they were doing the toss play to the right side to Alvin Kamara, and Carr stops and tosses it back to a trailing Foster Monroe, who takes it into the end zone for a score. Love that. They totally wasn't expecting that. We set them up for that play all game long, and the Saints executed it and hit him with it in the red zone when it counted. We was able to get that touchdown. Where are those type of plays? We need more of that going on, man. We really do. More creative style plays like that going on. Even Tampa Bay, as dull as they were pretty excellent in the Saints matchup when they were doing all this little trickeration and stuff like that. Where are all those fun plays at? We got too much talent to be such a bland team, offensively speaking. But hey, if we run the ball, it sets up the play action game, becomes a lot easier for us down the line. Then we can throw the tricky stuff in if that's the case. But please, let's run the football, man. Let that be our identity until Carr catches up, because he's not there yet, bro. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. 150 million, yes. He gonna spend it well right now, but he ain't ready for you to say, Carr, man, go out there and win that game. That dude ain't ready for that, man. $150 million. I got 150 million reasons to tell your ass why he ain't ready to lead that offense. You let Alvin Kamara lead that offense. You let that rushing attack lead that offense. And eventually he will catch up. He will catch up to that offense. We're 6 weeks into it. We're 6 weeks in, and people are not playing that bull job, man, for real. They're 6 weeks in, and there's no reason why we shouldn't be a top 5 offense with everybody there. It's like, will Michael Thomas be there? Michael Thomas is there. He leads the team in catches. So people talking about Michael Thomas is done. Thomas is there. He's playing. Chris Olave is out there playing. Rashid Shaheed is out there playing. These guys are available. They're out there. They're awesome. And we are better than this. And I'm glad they finally seeing we need to run the ball to get on code, because this is our best way to win right now. Let's do it. We got a young Texan club. We got to go down there. These are young people. They still figuring out how to win these games. They can't close games properly. That's how they lost the Atlanta game. It came down to a bit. They should have beat Atlanta. They let it slip out of their hands. They were able to take care of Steelers, but they're a young team figuring out how to win, but they love and believe in their head coach, which is dangerous. The media loves D'Amico Ryans. They love him out there. They love him. I'm like thinking, listen to my guy sit up here and talk about it from the breakdown show. Harley talk about how much he loves D'Amico Ryans, and I'm sitting up here saying, dude, I kind of a little jealous, man, because we simply don't feel the same way about our head coach. I said, man, I don't feel that way. I don't hate him, but listen, I understand what time it is. I'm not gonna sit up here and pretend like I don't know what time it is. He's a Peyton appointee. They had way more credible people that could have taken that job before they cycled it off to him, and we knew it was gonna happen. You know, we knew that. You don't sit that man up there for 8 hours, then turn around and say, yeah, he was the best choice. What? But in the end, he's a Peyton appointee. So I don't have that same amount of feeling, that love for D'Amico Ryans, who's a personable guy, who's a credible guy in the NFL, did it at the level, is an exciting motivator and a guy that a lot of people will play for. Dennis Allen's an older coach. He kind of is missing some principles here or there. He often says the wrong things that he shouldn't say. He shouldn't say things, not all the time, but in weird ways, and he kind of sneak dish you, like he sneak dissed Alvin Kamara. I see no articles on the way. Matter of fact, it's a little late in the game. I talked about it on the previous stream when he talked about all this stuff about motion and all that. Man, dude, shut up. You got one game. Cut it out. You got one win in there. Pete Carmichael, build on it, dude. Don't get cocky with it right now. Just stay humble. Keep working. Stay humble. Keep working. That's the best thing you can do. Stay humble and keep working if you can do that. Keep working. Find out and keep on them. Make sure they got it together. That's what you do, fam. That's what you got to do. Stay humble and keep working. All right, so anyway, shout out to the fam, man. Appreciate y'all being in this thing, man. Listening to me at this. I'm about to get ready to get on out of here, man. Y'all please feel free to give me a couple of questions, fam. I'm gonna try to have, I haven't really taken any questions up to this point. And I love y'all and I appreciate y'all. So please, if you're hearing me, if you got any questions, please feel free to throw them in the chat right now, because I'm gonna take about 10 minutes worth of questions. And I know I said that the last show in 10 minutes turned into an hour, but I really mean it this time. Where Pam and Whammy with the clock at? Where the queen at with the clock, man? Pam is supposed to be watching me with the clock. Pammy, where you at, baby? Where you at, Pammy? That's where I'm going. I said 10 damn minutes last show, 10 minutes turned into a whole hour. I'm sitting up there saying, man, what time is it, man? Damn. All right. So anyway, man, y'all got questions, throw them in the chat, man. I'm answering right quick. For about 10 minutes worth of questions, I'm gonna bounce out on that. What's up, Gardner? Shout out to you, fam. Said the offensive line have to control the line of scrimmage. That's that. Thank you, fam. Peace to work. Woke says MT really getting it done for real. Yeah, bro. We haven't seen that. And shout out to you, bro. We haven't seen Michael Thomas, or can't guard Mike is the nickname, right? Family, listen, and what's really upsetting, and a lot of people upset and they frustrated, prior to the win. And they really, when the Saints beat them and blanked the Patriots, they were validated. It wasn't like they were like, see, I told you. No. Wrong energy. They were validated because they were saying that's what you were supposed to be doing from week one. There is no reason why you shouldn't be there, there, because they are all there. Michael Thomas ain't no rookie. Chris Olave doesn't play like a young player. You know what I'm saying? He plays like an experienced 3 or 4 year wide receiver. So does Rashid Shaheed. These guys are super talented. You can't check them one-on-one. And Michael Thomas, for the most part, if you watch the film, he's single covered. When is the last time you ever seen a wide receiver like Michael Thomas single covered? Y'all remember the play when Michael Thomas caught the ball? This was in the Patriots game. The guy tried to grab Michael Thomas, and Michael Thomas just pushes the fripping dude off of him. He flies 3 or 4 yards back, and Thomas catches the ball on the sideline. Remember that play? You can't guard Michael Thomas like that. He has an ability to detach you from him. A lot of times Michael Thomas is singled covered. Michael Thomas. Now I know it's been several years since he was hurt and all that kind of stuff, but you can look at that in 2 ways, really. One way you can look at, okay, Q, he wasn't on the field. And the other way is, hey, Q, he wasn't getting beat up while he wasn't on the field. He was healing. So he wasn't taking all of the abuse of playing for those 3 years. So it's a positive as well as a negative to it. You get what I'm saying? So he has all that extra stuff going on. It's no reason why the Saints offense shouldn't be flowing, man. No good reason why the Saints offense shouldn't be flowing and not stuck at 15th or whatever their ranked is right now. This offense has all of its people available to it, and it should be a lot. Even when Alvin Kamara wasn't there, this offense still should have been cutting up out there, still should have been handling the business. They're just too good not to be. Too many playmakers, too many people good in space, too many weapons. So that's the thing. Like, a lot of people are frustrated. Like, I don't understand why this team is as bad as what they are. You got a guy out there studying too hard. He wants to make the right throw at the right time. And sometimes it don't work like that. You're overthinking. And when you're overthinking it, Demario Davis talked about that. Cam Jordan talked about that. Drew Brees talked about that. All the great ones talked about it, about overthinking. I just want to make the proper throw at the proper time. Sometimes you got to check it down, bro. Sometimes you're going to have to tuck it and then go and pick up them 3-4 yards the hard way. Sometimes you might have to, do your thing like that. You have to be multifaceted. And Carr needs to pick up. He scrambled in the Pats game. He needs to start doing that more as opposed to standing up there taking sacks when he ain't supposed to. Smarter QB players what we needed before you relinquish or turn over the offense to him. He's not exhibiting the qualities that I think that he should be entrusted as a whole with the quarterback. With the offense and say, okay, here, Carr, go win us some games. You see, I don't see that in his game based on the games that I've watched. Even in the Patriots game, when everything was flowing, he still had points in there where he was just like, he'd glitch out and get stuck. I don't know. It's strange. But yeah, man, it is what it is as far as that's concerned, man. Let me hurry up and run through this before I Pam get mad at me because I said I was going to be out of here in 10 minutes. What's up, KK? Shout out to you, baby. Appreciate it. It's just pretty sad the fans have to tell overpaid coaches how to do that. Well, listen, we just charting out we charting out fundamentals. You know what? It's just you have basically an amplifier, right? Like they tell you stuff like how many of these press conferences, like tonight's show, we have reacted. I mean, I've been doing this show for years. Y'all been listening to this show for years. And I don't know how many press conferences. I don't know how many. I mean, dozens of them. And in the press conferences, these guys tend to repeat themselves. I always talk about people in patterns. Everybody got a pattern, and patterns are a routine. A routine ain't nothing but a pattern. Everybody got a set behavior pattern or way they operate for that particular person, right? They got a particular behavior pattern that they operate for that particular person. So when you have these certain behavior patterns, it operates the same with coaches. You'll catch them saying the same thing over and over again. You'll hear them saying, oh, well, we need to do this, we need to do that. And then what I'll do is I'll just take whatever they're saying, fundamentally speaking, and throw it right back at them. That's what I will do. So if I hear a coach sit up here and tell me play calling doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. It's all about the players executing. I'm gonna say that no, that don't sound right. That's not right. But were you trying to stick that in there because you're trying to make yourself look good for sticking with Pete Carmichael when he called a decent game against the Patriots and ended up blanking the Pats? Now you trying to get some comeuppance by saying play calling don't matter. It was all about the execution, which is putting it on the players. See, I see all of that. I see all of that. I don't just let that run past me. I seen all of that and I called it out. I say, oh, that's what it is now. And if I see it, you don't think they see that? See, a good coach wouldn't do that, man. A guy that knows what he's doing and wants to build a winner wouldn't undercut or wouldn't undermine the success or undermine his team in little slick ways. Play calling don't matter. These guys they paid. They paid to execute. No. Play calling does matter, or the principle that goes in there when you talk about putting your players in positions to win wouldn't mean a hill of beans. And you've said that several dozen times before. What the hell does that mean if play calling doesn't matter? If you're putting your players in positions, how would you put them in positions to win if you don't call the plays that matter, fool? So in the end, what I'm saying is that was done to throw a jab at certain individuals to let them know I know what I'm doing. You see? But he ain't slick enough to slide that up under you or me or people paying attention. The Great Saint Think Tank had it. Then, of course, all this stuff about motion and all this stuff. No, it's all about execution. No. You're wrong on that too, because the guy who said motion was the guy we just got through playing. He was talking about trying to get something going with the offense because the offense doesn't have any pizzazz prior to the Patriots game. So what I'm saying is don't undermine your success by saying sneak this shit in press conferences like I don't have a pair of ears and a brain to go with it, like I ain't gonna pick it up. So play calling does matter, and don't sit there and undermine your players. See, DeMeco Ryans would never do that. You wouldn't have DeMeco Ryans saying silly shit like play calling don't matter and then wondering why we sitting up here at 3-2. Well, I get it now. I get it now why you 3-2 as opposed to 4-1 and or 5-0. I get it. I get it. If you got your head coach telling you play calling doesn't matter, hashtag play calling doesn't matter. I thought I heard the strength. I heard him say some crazy stuff. Like what happened in the game where your boy threw all them interceptions at halftime. Well, I talked to him and kept telling him, keep doing what you're doing. Yeah, run us all the way into the mud. Yeah, that you thought that was stupid. Boy, just keep on turning them out, man. And stood on it like it was something deep. I was like, what? I know I ain't hear that. Let me run that back. Even had to hit him with the boosie on that.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
So, I mean, in the end, man, this is what we working with. That's why I was like, man, boy, I missed the days when I felt like how the Texans, like how the Texan people and the reporters and the media feel about DeMeco Ryans, about their guy, how we feel about our guy down here, you know? So it's hard. It's difficult, man. But in the end, you look at it and when asked, like, I really don't want to hear the head coach of my team saying stuff like that, because it validates why we are 3-2. If you're thinking like that, any coach would tell you play calling matters, especially if you're the play caller. It only doesn't matter unless you're trying to take pressure off the play caller and put it on somebody else. When you just told me we win together, we lose together, it's a team game. We all have to play together. What happened to that measurement? What happened to that mentality? You only use it when you need it, which has some hypocrisy there, which kind of throws another little thing in there too. And that also explains why you 3-2. So it's a lot of really weird stuff that I don't like to hear my head coach talk about or say, man. I don't want to hear you say that. I don't want to hear you talking like that. If you're going to say that, don't tell that to me. Say that in private to your people. Don't get up there and say that in front of the media for me or you or anybody else to hear it. And then I hear it and I say, that's why we 3-2. Because that don't even make no sense for our head coach that's leading our team with all these people to be talking about play calling don't matter. Execution. What? How you going to execute plays or have success if the play caller don't call the right plays for his players? I mean, that don't even make sense to me, but I hate to fixate on that, man, but it's just silly, man. It's silly. Slim says, will Granderson lead the team in sacks? I don't know, bro. It's a good, he's looking good over there, bro, but you never know, Slim, to be honest with you, because Cam gets double, Curl doesn't. So it's a possibility that he could. Audemars, shout out to you. Who's the best fit at QB? For us, is Carr right now. He just has to stop thinking so much, be more instinctual, and stop looking to always take the deep shot. You know, start looking mid-range and even the check down right. Get into, if you cycle through his progressions faster, that's the whole big thing. Go through those progressions faster. Develop a clock in your head. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. How you know that, Q? You never played QB in the NFL. I ain't have to. You know who told me that? The great Drew Brees told me that. And several other great NFL quarterbacks. During the time you listen to their interviews from the past, they'll tell you the same damn thing, because Drew's a student of the game. He got it from them. And that's how you're supposed to get it. When you got a successful person that did it at your level, you go study what they do. And if you're fortunate enough to go and talk to them to get the game directly, you get it. That's how you got coaches in the NFL and everywhere else across the world that are successful, and those that aren't, because the ones that are successful go and sit at the feet of those who are. They purchase their literature, they listen to them, they study the game, they get the tools, they get the success, and they learn the right way to win, and they win. That's what they do. Nick Saban, they all did it. They didn't just pull it out of their backside somewhere. They had to go and get it from somewhere. You dig? So I think best fit for the Saints right now is Carr. He just needs to settle down. He has to get into his progressions faster, and he has to recognize that if nothing's there, go to the check down faster, or either scramble outside or throw the ball away. Don't take sacks to hurt the offense, because I find the Saints that have difficult times getting out of the, once they get penalties, they aren't as savvy enough. Like if you get backed up 10 or 15 yards on pre-snap penalties, that's difficult for them. Sometimes I see them moving the ball to get that yardage back. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of, it's strange. Daniel says, Q, do you think Carr plays well under pressure? Not that I've seen this year, bro. And I'm only going to stick to this year. I don't care what he did with the Raiders, bro. I'm gonna just be honest with you, because it seems to be different here with him. And I understand why he's struggling. It's not entirely him, but he has to get rid of the ball. You got to speed it up. That offensive line was shaky early on. It seems to be solidifying now because a lot of people putting pressure on him to do their jobs better. And he has to help himself out. He has to get rid of the ball and protect himself. Don't stand back there and take no sacks, especially if you got a shoulder issue. That won't bode well for you. You got a pair of wheels, run, throw it away, protect yourself. We won't be mad if you throw the ball out of bounds because there was nothing upfield. I won't be mad at that. Just don't hurt the team, because it was a couple of penalties, couple of plays. Y'all remember the 250+ yard field goal plays that we had where the offense stalled out, and if it wasn't for Black Grupe kicking them long ass field goals, we wouldn't even got them points. We wouldn't even got those points. So, all right. So anyway, let's keep it going, man. All right, JT, what's up, bro? Say I'm not going to hold you long. Well, yes, I'm just glad Pam ain't here. She gonna cut up. Brother Eric says, do you think our front seven can keep Stroud from getting out of the pocket and running? That's a great question, Eric, man, because remember, Mac Jones' game was scrambling out of, even if you go back to the two prior games, we had Jordan Love and what was the other guy, Baker Mayfield. Those guys were able, it was several different times they were able to extend plays and hurt us. Like Jordan Love, he was directly responsible. Like he would take off in that Green Bay game. He took off. The Saints had him where the coverage was solid, and he just would run, and then he would break containment and pick up 15 yards, 10 yards here, and he was moving their offense. If we would have kept him contained, that would have happened. So this guy will run on you. I've showed the statistics on you. He will run on you. Averages like 3.5 yards per scramble in the 15 something odd scrambles that he ran in the 5 games that he's played. And CJ Stroud, he does have wheels. He will take off on you. So containment's a big part of it. Keeping lane discipline, containing them, and then pressuring them and getting them down on the ground. We got 2 sacks last game, 2 sacks in 2 games prior to that. We need more sacks. And I hate to, call our defense out there, but yeah, we can't allow him to break containment and leak outside the pocket. All right. Thank y'all, man, for that. All right, brother James, how you doing, bro? Says Q fam. What I'm trying to understand. Mike is healthy. You can't guard him one-on-one. Olavi's a dog. Rashid demands double coverage. Carr had weapons. I'm Oakland. He says in Oakland, same thing. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's why a lot of people be frustrated, man, because we keep getting, the offense is no rhyme or reason why the offense should be struggling, and all of its key people are there, especially with Alvin Kamara coming back. Alvin Kamara didn't come back for the Patriots. He came back for the Buccaneers game, and the Saints didn't get an offensive touchdown. You see? So, I mean, it's just they have to figure it out. You got to run the football. Ain't no doubt about it, and we'll see how they do it. All right, so I think I saw all the questions, family, that the family members asking me about. All right, Eric says, all right, salute to you, son of God. Shout out to you, brother. Good to see you. All right, Eric says, Q, you helped me get to Amarillo. Okay, I can make it to Colorado from here. All right, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. All right, shout out. All right. All right, hard. He says Carr be back there making gumbo. Yeah, he got no clock in his head. No Marley Marl, no 6 hours, bro. Okay. Oh, there she go. Oh, there she goes. Somebody called and she popped up. Yep. See, I gotta go now. Pam is here, man. I gotta make a move. I gotta go now. Right. All right. So anyway, with that being said, fam, I'm gonna step out on that. Listen, I appreciate y'all for chiming in on tonight's broadcast. I hope y'all had some fun with me. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. If you're not a subscriber, smash the subscribe button. For all my Whodats and all of the great Saint Think Tankers, please feel free to support the WhoDatDaily.com. We got a really excellent staff over there, guys, that's doing and putting in some work. Y'all, please feel free to share their articles, man. They put in some work. Remember, it's not easy in the independent game. Like, you got a lot of these major networks and corporations, Sports Illustrated, ESPN. They all operate, but it's a little sneaky game they got going on nowadays, where they have people that saying they're independent, but they're really not. They're like funded by big corporations. We are not funded by corporations. We are 100% organic, and we operate with a really good, solid staff of organic people too. So you remember, you got to rock with the independents that's doing it, or the people that's trying to build it up, that's coming out of the community, the organic push. You got to rock with them, support them. And hey, listen, it's all built by us, for us. We the Who Dat Nation, man. We doing this thing. So check out the WhoDatDaily.com. Share their articles, man. Show us some love there, and that'll really help moving us in the right direction. A lot of big things popping down the line. So anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna get on there. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Y'all be looking out tomorrow for Thursday, which is Who Dat Nation United Thursday. We'll have straight Saint content starting at 5:00. We'll kick it off with the Saints versus Texans preview matchup with a Texan beat writer that came in on there, and check him out. We'll have him, Harley. What was Harley's last name? Dugan. Harley Dugan from the Houston Lead. It's a 40-something minute show. A lot of good game, and he gets you real familiar. Really solid show with a lot of good game to get you totally familiarized with this Houston Texan team you about to take on, man. Had a really solid show, a really good show. Y'all see that tomorrow at 5:00. Y'all check us out on Who Dat Nation United. With that being said, I'm gonna get out on that. Much love to y'all. Appreciate y'all. Who Dat to you, and I'm out.
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Who Dat. Long as I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Who Dat. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Fucking on town, duck down. Falcons pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, and you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Buggy like this, and I'm a Who Dat. Every day I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Uniforms store, where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the pro shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the pro shops. The link is in the description.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, and even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. The Who